It's been one day since we recorded, and we've had two major developments in the last day. One on RCP and one on Polymarket. Which one should we start with? Let's start with RCP. What you'll notice is this right side of the screen is looking awfully red, and that's because Donald Trump now leads every swing state in the aggregate. He now leads Wisconsin, and yes, you can say it's only because of Rasmussen, but Quinnipiac have got a +2 in there from not long ago, and these Harris ones are going to drop out not that long from now either. New York Times Siena, this one will drop out soon, and GSG also. So things are looking awful for the Harris campaign at the moment. They're not quite Biden levels on the national polling or the Wisconsin polling. This is, but it's trending that way. She's not going to get there. I mean, it's a race to the bottom. She's got 2 weeks to get there. I don't think she will, but she's led Wisconsin since the start of August, and now it's come back to Republicans, and this is probably the end of it, to be honest. Anyway, we look at the other swing states. They're essentially the same. We can quickly look at the rest of the polls that come out. Emerson, this was a very anticipated poll because we know Emerson, very good pollster, or very objective pollster, and they came out with a Harris +1, which means that she's losing the Electoral College in pretty much every scenario. Harris X, again, not affiliate to Harris, Kamala Harris, that is. 2, which is still probably not enough. TIPP has a up by 2, which is also not enough, and that's at 96% in total. Realistically, it's going to be between the two of them probably about 98 to 90, well, probably 98% on election day. So maybe some undecideds left in there. Aside from that, we have congressional votes. We'll get to the Congress in a second. That is the other major development. But we had Arizona, the CBS poll, where Trump leads by 3. We have the Wisconsin Rasmussen poll. Pennsylvania, UMass Lowell at 91% in. This is what we need to be looking for. We can't, people can't be dooming on these polls. Republicans can't be dooming on these polls. Because it's 91% in. Now, you're leaving 9% undecided or third party in Pennsylvania. That's just unserious. And then you have Michigan, which is, again, Trump leading another Michigan poll. Rasmussen has it at a tie. And this UMass Lowell, which seems to be terrible, quite frankly, terrible at polling, because it has, again, 91% in, and it's leaving 9% undecided or third party. It's just not real. So Harris leads by 9. That's kind of a rough number. Maybe it's probably closer to 7. I don't think Trump's at 41% in New Hampshire. As in, I don't think he's that low. North Carolina's a tie, according to Carolina Journal. We have Fox with Trump +2 again. We keep in mind that Fox's polls are left wing, or they tend to be, at the very least, and Trump leads the national polls by 2. Now, he's not leading many national polls. He's not leading actually any national polls aside from this Fox one, and I don't expect him to, and I don't even expect him to win the popular vote, nor does Polymarket. But those, I think we covered that Fox poll yesterday as well. Anyway, so here we go, Polymarket. Now, what you'll notice, first of all, Trump's gone down 2 points. Is this the end of Trump? No, of course it's not. But what you will notice is that this state right here in the corner, it's called Nevada. It is a toss-up because it's grey on the map. And you'll notice Wisconsin is now red on this map, and Michigan is now red on this map, and Pennsylvania, we talked about it last time, is red on this map, and North Carolina is, of course, red, Georgia's red, and Arizona is pretty much a done deal at this point. Virginia is one that we need to talk about. Early voting looks very good for Republicans, and look, Republicans have tried to make runs at Virginia before, like 2016, unsuccessful but close. And maybe it will be time for Virginia to come back to the Republicans for the first time since 2004, I think. Anyway, Nevada is still, again, this is a completely meaningless state for Republicans. It opens no new paths to victory unless you're having some sort of Michigan and not including Georgia. It doesn't make any sense, really. It's just not going to happen. But again, Trump leads in the overall percentage points. He is at 61%, Harris at 39%, and Joe Biden at 0. He leads every swing state. They don't even class North Carolina as a swing state on Polymarket. Trump is not expected to win the popular vote, which, if I was going to make a guess now, I don't think he would win the popular vote. I mean, he might do. It's certainly trending that way. Actually, I think, well, it's going to be close. I think it could be within a point, actually. But we have, will there be another debate? And you have to consider, whatever the polls say, Trump usually outperforms the polls greatly. He could take a popular vote win. It's not out of the question, completely not out of the question. But we have some other polls down here that don't really matter, or percentages like Trump fires campaign manager. Does anyone really care about any of this? Anyway, this is the big development. Republicans are at 51% in the House. They currently lead in the chances of winning the House. Also, the Senate has gone up to 80%. Now, I find this interesting because I watched a little bit, and I didn't watch it all, so I can't give you a full debate breakdown. But I did watch the start of the Ted Cruz-Colin Allred debate, and Ted Cruz was not performing very well. I mean, Colin Allred had his errors as well, but Ted Cruz did not look good up there. And that is a crucial Senate seat. We can actually go and look at the Senate because we know what our presidential states look like. But we have the Senate here. These states are all safe. These are all safe blue. Okay, let's give Democrats best case scenario, right? So they're going to lose Montana this time. That's going to be a flip. They're going to win all of these seats, all of these Senate seats, and then you have, or let's say they win Ohio as well. Give them all the Rust Belt states. Give them just everything, just all of the states. It's 49 to 51, and this is kind of the problem. Democrats have been at the best case scenario for a lot of this cycle. They just can't pick off that 50th and 51st seat. If you don't know how the Senate works, if it's a 50-50, the vice president is essentially the decider. So, and that's probably why the percentage has gone up on Polymarket, because Republicans have a better chance of winning the presidency, and therefore if it were a 50-50, they'd win the Senate in that case as well. So they're kind of locking that one down. So Democrats need to find 2 seats from somewhere. They're losing West Virginia and they're losing Montana. That's why they currently hold the Senate, but they're going to lose those 2 for sure, no question. So what are their most realistic states left on this map that they could win? I saw LTE talked about Nebraska, or I mean, it's just sure. But even if Democrats win Texas, they're still not going to win the Senate. I mean, it's going to be kind of a little bit more difficult for Republicans to get things through with, senators that maybe are Republican but not ideologically aligned with the rest of the party. So, even though Texas, Ted Cruz he had that struggling start to the debate. I didn't watch it all, so please don't. If he recovered throughout, then I'm happy to swallow my words. But we see that even if they win that, Montana would be their next most likely one, and that's polling at around 7 points right now. So I don't think you're flipping that one back anyway. But so Republicans are going to take the Senate. There's no question. Republicans are going to take the Senate. Now the House is also looking good, and that would mean that Trump, and again, it's a 1 Senate seat margin in the House, or 2, I guess, because again, J.D. Vance would be the tiebreaker. But that is not, you're not going to get everything you want passed in that case. And you're never going to whitewash the Senate. You're never going to get 66 in the Senate, or 66. Yeah, 66. And again, the House is going to be razor thin. So again, you're really not going to get everything you want passed. But you look at it on paper, having the trifecta would be perfect for governing. and Donald Trump looks set for it. Republicans are doing a very good job down ballot, while the Democrats have to spend on the Harris campaign. The Republicans are doing well, allocating the resources, getting people turning out, getting people voting Republican down ballot. They've brought back the faith in the party after the Roe v. Wade kind of explosion from 2022 that cost them the midterms, among other things, but most likely that was the biggest reason. And they've brought, maybe it's not they've brought those people back, they've just energized the rest of the base or new voters. A lot of young people are voting Republican, a lot more than you'd expect. But we can quickly go to our presidential map, and we will fill it in here, just in case we have any new developments. Texas is not going to go blue there, we can say that for sure. So we've got this Nebraska district, and Ohio keeps getting highlighted for some reason, but we have, of course, New England. We have Maine. Maine's an interesting one. If Virginia is looking good for Republicans, not to win it, but like I said, 4-3 points, it could be that close. And then you go into 2028, and as long as that DC area doesn't expand too much, you could be winning Virginia back into your column, and that's 13 electoral votes. That could make the difference. If you think this was, likely or lean even Republican in this cycle, then there would be no doubt that Donald Trump is going to win. I don't think there is much doubt among Republicans at the moment. Things are looking very good. But Virginia, I mean, it could maybe be in play. We'll have to see on that one. We can explore scenarios where Virginia does flip. We have all of these deep south states. We have Nebraska. We have this Maine district. And we have Florida, again, where early voting is looking very good in Florida. It's looking very good in Pennsylvania. It's looking very good in North Carolina. It's looking very good across the board. Arizona's another one. So 219 to 226. We say Trump wins Arizona as a lean. We say he wins Georgia as a lean. We say he wins North Carolina as a lean. Reminder, a lean is over 1 point. Pennsylvania, we turned into a lean last time. And then we have Michigan as a tilt. We have Wisconsin as a lean. And then we did have Nevada lean blue. Now, I do want to look at, have we had any new Nevada polls? We haven't, so we're going to keep that lean blue. But Virginia, I mean, could Virginia even underrun Nevada as a redder state than Nevada? Who would have thought? But maybe Democrats thinking they have Virginia in the bag. The whole narrative at the moment around the election is there's 7 swing states, but the next most likely state to flip, the 8th swing state, if you were to call it that, is Virginia. It's not a red state, it's Virginia. And maybe Democrats have kind of left that one on the board. I think this would be your best case scenario for Republicans, a 325 to 213. Is it realistic? I mean, Virginia's a stretch. I think it's... When Joe Biden was the nominee, it did look very close, but Virginia is in... Well, maybe not in play, but it's bordering on it. It really is. Early voting looks very good in Virginia. It looks so good for Republicans across the board. Of course, Democrats lead early voting, but a lot higher percentage of their party goes to vote early. Also, Republicans are worried, a lot of Republican supporters are worried that this good early voting performance is cannibalizing, is the word that's being thrown around, cannibalizing the election day vote, which it doesn't seem like it. It just seems like Republicans are getting more people on the ground, and they're basically convincing people to just bank your vote. Bank your vote, and then you can forget about it, and you don't have to think about it. And Republicans' ground game has been much better this time compared to previous elections. But anyway, this is what the electoral map is looking like. This is what Polymarket is looking like. It would take a mega turnaround for Trump to lose at this point. He leads by over 20 points. He had the Al Smith dinner yesterday. He's going to carry that momentum. You'd have thought he'd carry that momentum through today, but for some reason he's gone down. Anyway, Harris, she recorded an atrocious video for them It was so bad. I encourage you to go and watch her video addressing the Al Smith dinner. It's so bad. But as she continues to put nails in the coffin of her campaign, Donald Trump expands the margin day by day, maybe not hour by hour as we see here, but day by day he's expanding the margin in the swing states. He's leading every single one. I mean, it feels like we've time traveled back to July because he's leading all the swing states. And actually, if we look at the top battleground states, Trump leads across all of them, and he has done for quite some time now. That's probably because Arizona has had the biggest margin the whole time. But are we going to see it like this come election day, where it's like a 4 point gap in the in the swing states? Who knows? We'll see. We will see. But it's looking good. It's looking very good for Republicans. Looking very good for Donald Trump. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Get subscribed to the channel. Again, 0.5% of people watching this channel are subscribed, so get in with that gang, that exclusive gang of the 0.5%, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.